After 84 essays giving extensive defense of the proposed U.S. Constitution, Hamilton concludes the Federalist Papers with one final argument. And it's a very simple argument. It is simply this: that the U.S. Constitution, created and proposed by the delegates in Philadelphia, is simply the best that our political situation, our habits, and our opinions will admit. In other words, it's created by imperfect people, and any work created by imperfect people working together will necessarily be a combination of wisdom and common sense, and also errors and prejudices. That the states have a natural friendship, but they also have competing interests and really clashing interests. And all of these things had to come together in one constitution. That's his last argument, is it's remarkable that we got this in the first place. This is the best that we could do. And now we turn it over to you, the people of the state of New York, because again, it's the people of the states who ratify the U.S. constitutions in state ratifying conventions. So he turns it over to the people of New York and says, now it's up to you to decide. And in fact, the people of New York convene a convention in mid-June 1788. Now, within just a couple of weeks of this convention meeting, 10 states will have already ratified the U.S. Constitution, meaning the adoption of the U.S. Constitution is confirmed. It's going to happen. The only question is, will New York join or will it not? And on what conditions will it join? And this is actually a really important question, because the New York Convention has a 2-to-1 ratio of anti-federalists, those who oppose the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, to federalists. Well, so what happens? Well, they do adopt it. On the 26th of July, 1788, New York adopts the U.S. Constitution, but they attach a list of, or a declaration of rights, and then at the bottom have a series of recommended amendments to the U.S. Constitution for the first Congress to consider. Now, the history of these amendments is really interesting. None of them make it in to the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. They're basically just discarded one by one. Only one of them ever makes it into the U.S. Constitution at all, and that's the 22nd Amendment, which limits the president to only 2 terms. That's one of the recommended amendments from the New York Ratifying Convention. One of the other ratifying recommended amendments is actually expanding the natural-born citizen clause to say it's not just the president who has to be a natural-born citizen, but all members of the House and the Senate, which is really interesting and would never be added to the U.S. Constitution today. So instead of the amendments being powerful, which they're not, it's the Declaration of Rights that actually makes it into the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. The Bill of Rights echoes and in some places copies word for word the language of the Declaration of Rights included by the New York Ratifying Convention, including the right of the people to keep and bear arms, as well as general freedom of religion. So the New York Ratifying Convention was successful in at least that arena. You do get a Bill of Rights, but it includes no structural amendments to the U.S. Constitution.